This is the brand new Logitech G Pro X2 Superstrike, a $179 flagship gaming mouse. But here's the question. Do you actually need to spend that much money anymore? I've been using this along with three of the most popular budget alternatives, and today we're breaking down what really matters: shape, performance, and value. This is part of an ongoing gaming mouse series where I'm featuring products I've personally bought, used, and tested over time. Nothing sponsored, and all opinions are my own. I personally own and have used all four of these mice. And not just for a day or two. This isn't a spec sheet review. This is based on real use over time. For reference, I've got pretty large hands, about 19 by 11 centimeters. My hands stay dry even while gaming. I'm not a sweaty gamer. That's important because most mouse coatings are actually designed for people with warmer or sweatier hands. They end up getting grippier the warmer your hands are and the sweatier they are. Because my hands are so dry, I end up using grip tape on almost every mouse I test. And just keep this in mind. What feels great for me might feel completely different for you. Also, as a quick heads up, this is part of a series. And if this series hits 1,000 subscribers by the end, I might have to give one of the featured mice away to one of you. So we'll see how close we get. In the gaming mouse community, there are three different types of grips. The first one is a palm grip. It's where you place your palm over the back of the mouse and fingers wrap around the sides, and you kind of just press the buttons the way you would. It kind of fits snugly in your hands, a lot of stability with that. The next one is a claw grip. Usually it butts up to the butt of your palm, and then you curl your fingers around like this, and that's the claw grip. The next up is your fingertip grip, which is usually with your fingers all extended. And then usually the back of the mouse does not hit your hand. You have a lot of more control and ability to move the mouse around with just your fingertips. And those are the three grips. The best mouse is not the most expensive one. Let me repeat that. Just because it's more expensive does not mean it is a better mouse. It comes down to a few factors. The shape and feel in your hands, I believe, is the most important factor. If it doesn't feel comfortable in your hand, if you can't hold it steady, if you can't click as fast as you need to click because of the way your hand fits in there, it is not a good mouse for you. I don't care how expensive it is. The second factor is the sensor, the switches, the weight, basically the tech inside the mouse. You just need to make sure it fits your budget. A cheaper mouse that fits your hand will outperform a flagship that doesn't every time. Find a comfortable mouse and then buy the most expensive tech you can. This is the Logitech G Pro X2 Superlight. It is a very well-made mouse. Like I mentioned before, I put grip tape on it because my hands are really dry, and these coatings are not good for dry hands in my opinion. So I put this grip tape on there from Lizard Skin, and I'll post that link in the comments below. Really good, really easy to use. This is a top tier quality mouse. The build is excellent. On mouse 1 and 2, the clicks are great, and they're weird if you're not used to them, and I'll talk about that in a minute because of the new tech that's in it. There is no creaking, and the coating for hot and sweaty hands is great. This shape right here is what's used by almost 50% of all esports players. It is the most desired shape or the most used shape. It's safe, it's universal, it's a go-to and easy to recommend this shape no matter what mouse you're buying. If it's this shape, it's going to work with your hand. There are ones that you might like better, but this will always work with your hand. It has high-end sensors. It's very lightweight for its size and the tech that's in it. Excellent wireless performance at 8K performance, although that's a whole nother story that I'm going to have to talk about, 8K polling rates and stuff like that. Overall, it has a premium feel. Another pro for this mouse is it also comes with a 2-year warranty. So how this technology works, it's new tech. It's called HITS, Haptic Inductive Trigger System. That's the abbreviation, or HITS. It is basically a magnetic, fully customizable click system. You can adjust how fast your clicks activate, how they feel, and how quickly they reset. It also uses a haptic feedback instead of physical switches, so clicks are faster, more consistent, and built for rapid fire inputs. So what HITS is, basically can tell how far you push the mouse down, and you can set it to where you can just barely touch the mouse and it'll click, or you can set it to where you have to press really hard for it to click. And there's a bunch of settings in between. The software for this is really good. Has an onboard mode where you can save profiles. So right here, you can adjust the left and right, the left, right, or right mouse button. This is the actuation point. So if you see when I'm pressing this down, it shows how much force I'm putting on there. So I can make it so it's a long click where I can keep pressing it and I have to really push it down. Like I'm really feeling the effort behind it. But you have all these other things. But I kind of like it at 2, so it gives me a nice crisp click from the get-go. Now on the right mouse button, I've got it on 2 as well. The rapid trigger is when it releases. It lets me know that it'll trigger at a certain point when it's coming off being pressed. And then the click haptics is how aggressive the vibration is. So strong makes it really feel like there's a good solid click. I usually keep the left one at 2. So it's a nice light click. And then the right one, I've been keeping a little bit stronger just to make sure I don't actually pull up my scope when I don't want to. Those are the haptic clicks. You can reprogram these side buttons and everything. That's pretty standard with most mice, but that's how you adjust the hits with the software. Not everything is perfect with this mouse. I have a few cons when it comes to this. It's very expensive, $179.99, and it's not going to go on sale for a long time. Not the best scroll wheel or side clicks. Not horrible, but I felt better for sure. So the side clicks feel a little bit mushy. The scroll wheel isn't as tactile as I'd like, and it's definitely not clicky when you press it. The coating feels slippery for dry hands, which that's more a me thing than most people. It definitely doesn't feel 2 to 3 times better than the cheaper option. And then the skates on this, most people will complain about them. They're not that bad. I use a glass mouse pad, so these slower skates feel really good on my glass mouse pad. If you use a cloth mouse pad, there is a good chance you are not going to like them because they are slow. But they feel good on a glass mouse pad because of how fast a glass mouse pad is. And just as a couple quick talking points on the Logitech, it's a very safe flagship. So you're spending $180, it's going to work for you. Unless you have been completely ruined by another shape that you love 1,000 times more, or you can't fingertip this because your hands are small, it's a safe flagship. It's going to work for you. There's a reason why 50% of all esports players use this shape in this size. You're paying for a lot of refinement. They have this dialed in. It is a great mouse, even with my few cons that I have for it, and you're paying for the innovation that they've come up with on the hits. You're paying a premium because they're the first one to market with it. But here's where things get interesting. Because for about a third of the price, you've got something like the ATK Dragonfly A9 Air. On paper, this thing is crazy. You have insane value for the performance at $81.98. Let's go over the pros. This has insane value. It's the same shape as the Logitech G Pro series. The build quality is on par with the Logitech. I like these side buttons better on this mouse. They're a lot crispier. They're very lightweight. Not my favorite scroll wheel, but the click on the scroll wheel actually feels better as well. I like a clickable scroll wheel. It's a little bit heavy, but it feels better than the G Pro Superstrike in my opinion. It's very lightweight. It's a little bit lighter. It's 47 grams versus I think 61 grams. And it has great sensor, has great responsiveness. You can palm, claw, fingertip this if you've got my size hands, and probably even smaller. It's a good mouse. Again, same kind of coating issues I have with this one as I did with the Superstrike. That's why there's grip tape on it. There's a few cons. The quality control can vary slightly on these. I don't like the skates, so I've already replaced them with dot skates. That's my preferred skate on a glass mouse pad, even though the Superstrike does feel good on a glass mouse pad without the dot skates. So I'm going to run the Superstrike for a little bit longer like that. One of the main differences, instead of a 2-year warranty like the Superstrike, this only has a 12-month warranty. But it's a good mouse nonetheless. And it has a couple more color options than the Superstrike does. Superstrike only comes in one color. This is where consumers are going to start asking, why are we paying $180 for a mouse? But it gets worse as we go down the line. And it gets even harder to justify because now we're looking at something like the Mchose A7 V2 Ultra. Extremely competitive price. This is $65. Got a solid build quality, no creaking. Scroll wheel has a nice clicky scroll wheel, and it feels better than the Superstrike and the Mchose A9 Air, in my opinion. Lots of color options are available with this on the website and on Amazon. And then it is lightweight, it is responsive, and surprisingly has really good internals. This is great for budget competitive setups. The cons for this are the side clicks are still mushy, like all the other mice featured on this. The software and support, not quite as good. Only has a 12-month warranty on it. And it's not my favorite skates. It's got the big, chunky slow skates. Again, they don't feel that bad on a glass mouse pad, but on any kind of cloth mouse pad, I would have ripped these off sooner. This is a budget sleeper. It is a good mouse at a great price. You get 80 to 90% of the flagship performance on this mouse. Definitely worth it. Definitely consider it. But it gets even worse for the Superstrike because there's one more mouse that's even more affordable that makes sense at the price range that it's at. Enter the Attack Shark X3. This little bad boy right here. Same shape, it's a little bit smaller though. It's the only difference. But the pros are through the roof. The price range is between $35 and $42 right now on Amazon. And it comes in a ton of different colors. It's lightweight at 49 grams, which is lighter than the Superstrike. Has good quality components. And it's great for fingertip or claw grip for large hands. And if you have a small hand, you can palm this. I can almost palm it, but my fingers hang over the front. So I would say I'm not going to be palming this anytime soon. Build quality is a little bit weaker than the other three mice. You can actually feel a lot more flex when you squeeze it. The clicks feel a little less premium, a little less clicky, a little less spammable. The coating, again, it's got that dry coating. I didn't main this one for very long, maybe a week, if that, so I didn't really modify anything. The skates are surprisingly a little bit better because they have less drag because they're essentially smaller is what it comes down to. The quality control on this can definitely be pretty hit or miss. So if you get a bad one, you're going to want to return it and get another one. It has only 1K polling. Only a con if you value higher polling rates. And we'll talk about polling right now. Polling rate is how often your mouse updates your PC on its position. 1000 hertz means 1000 times per second. Higher polling rate equals lower delay and smoother tracking. But after 1000 hertz, the gains get really small, and it can actually use more CPU power and cause lag or stutters if your PC is not strong enough. So yeah, it's nice to have, but it's not a must-have. On most polling rate, even with my system, a 9700 X3D and a 9070 16GB graphics card, I'm still only running at 2K. Every once in a while, I'll put it at 4K polling, but I don't notice any differences, so I don't leave it there. Another con on this one, or it might be a pro if you've got smaller hands, is it's a smaller mouse. So to recap the pricing, the Logitech Pro X2 Superstrike Lightspeed is $179.99. The ATK Dragonfly A9 Air is $81.98, less than half the price. And the Mchose A7 V2 Ultra is $65, almost a third of the price. And then last but not least is the Attack Shark X3, which is anywhere between $35 to $45. You can almost buy 4 of these for the price of one Logitech G Pro Superstrike. Crazy. I guess the main question is, should you pay $179 for the Logitech G Pro X2 Superlight? If you're in the yes camp, you probably like that it has the top tier build and reliability that Logitech brings with it. Probably also like that it's a safe, proven shape. Probably like that there's very little compromise when it comes to this mouse. And you can trust the Logitech ecosystem to provide quality and updates and firmware. And you like the 2-year warranty. And you have the cash to actually afford it. If you're in the no camp, you're probably more value focused. You don't have the extra money or don't want to spend the extra money. You're okay with 90% of the performance at half the price, or even 50% of the performance at a fifth of the price. And you're experimenting with shapes. So you don't want to commit to $180 when you don't know for sure that that's going to be your end game mouse. Just some things to remember when you're choosing a mouse. I believe shape is greater than every other aspect of choosing a gaming mouse. If it doesn't fit your hand the way you like it, it ain't worth it. Once you find the shape you like, I don't know, go to Best Buy, go anywhere that they sell gaming mice and start trying the flagship mice, and you'll always be able to find a clone that's in that style for sure. Also, if you buy it on Amazon, you can return it as well. So you can buy like 4 or 5 mice, try them all out, turn them all but the one you want. These cheaper mice are closer than ever to competing with flagship mice. The Logitech is killing it when it comes to innovation with the hit system, but the gap in performance is way too small to spend that kind of money on a mouse that expensive if you don't want to spend that kind of money. If you want to check out any of these mice, I've got all the affiliate links down in the description. And also on TikTok, it's linked in my bio. And if you were paying attention, I dropped a hint in this video about the next mouse in the series. I'm curious. Can you guess which one it was? Let me know, and I'll catch you in the next one.